Potential is not enough, never has been enough. And today we are building capacity to actually create the life that you truly desire. Hello and welcome back. My name is John Atonji, and this is Healing into Femininity, position for power, privilege, and progress. I'm all about feminine leadership, how you can create the life you truly desire by being a woman and leading your own life. So, as I said, potential is not enough, not for anybody and not also for us. Yes, every human has the potential to become great, just as every seed has the potential to become a fruit bearing tree, but not every seed will, and also not every human will fulfill their potential. That is just the reality. And the science behind it is exactly what we're diving into today. So listen up, as I always like to say, all of my videos are more than just entertainment. This is a masterclass. And if you are smart, you take out a piece of paper, a pen, and you dive in and make notes. Your notes, right? Your own notes on what I'm saying here. It's not only about me telling you what to do, but it's about you taking everything that comes to mind and reflect on that from a perspective of your own life cultivation. Okay? All right. So let's go. This week we're focused on developing our capacity for transformation. There is a difference between our potential. As I said, everybody has potential, but not everybody has the capacity, right? The ability, whether it is mental, emotional, physically, financially, right? People have to build capacity. You and I have the potential to literally move mountains. We have the potential to literally transform and bring about whatever we choose. But few of us have developed, cultivated. I love the word cultivated. Develop the potential to create, right? To create, to really create the outcomes that we desire. So what we're working with today are the 5 steps of consciousness, because everything starts with awareness, consciousness, because the capacity you have right now to either transform your circumstances or to stay stuck in your circumstances has to do with your consciousness, with your awareness. Our potential is God given. It's a soul force, right? It's our life force energy. As I said, it's the energy that enlivens you, that makes your heart beat, that makes your blood flow. That is your energy. That is God given. But you have to decide and take the action and invest in yourself to learn to expand your consciousness. So, this is what we want. We want to transform the potential into the capacity to demonstrate, to be a living, walking demonstration of your consciousness. So the 5 steps were first offered by Ernest Holmes, who was a psychologist or psychiatrist. And you can also reflect that back or see that in other ancient spiritual traditions, just like the Vedas or the teachings of Jesus. And also today, if you're more a science-based person, you can see the same principle in quantum physics. I always like to say over here we bring it together because we live in a time where science is actually proven spiritual teachings that have been taught thousands of years ago, where people didn't have the scientific background, but it was still true, right? And today we have the science, as in quantum science, to prove what the mystics have said. So it's for both parts of our brain. I like it. I'm a science girly too, but I'm definitely also a spiritual believer. But today it's about building through action. So recognize, number one, recognize that there is one presence, one power in the universe, which is called life, which is called life. Recognize that both is like thinking and feeling. It's the space that we live in. In all of the old books around the 1800s, 1900s, this is when it was called the this thinking stuff that we live and move and have our being. Maybe you know Wallace Waddles or Napoleon Hill. These are the people that come from this train of thought, this school of thought, right? So it's about understanding that there is this one energy that we are moving in. No matter the circumstance, it is always a possibility for transformation, right? The circumstances that you're living in right now are different from your potential to change it. So we want to understand that there is a truth about our being and the facts of our circumstances. It's two different things. So, no matter the circumstances, it is independent of the one presence, one power, right? Whatever you have created is not the fact or the truth of your life, right? To develop a capacity as a person who can choose transformation rather than reacting to what's happening requires that we choose to develop a consciousness of connection with this one from which we can make a choice. That is the power in that, right? The first step is to practice more often than not to recognize and remember that there's one presence and one power, to make it even more practical, more tangible. Okay. So I always like to say we are living or we are swimming in a sea of consciousness. This is the world that we live in. The world is not the earth. Very important. The earth is nature. And then there's the world. And the world is made up by ideas. This world is made up by ideas that have formed into the institutions that we see today, right? One of my favorite online mentors is Julia Shaw, and she calls it the CPR model. The CPR model means capitalism, patriarchy, and racism. These are the thoughts that were made up by men that are still at place. And most people unconsciously just inherit those ideas and take them for granted. They take them as law, but that is not law. These things are man made, it's invented, invented by humans, right? And this is the system that puts the white man on the pedestal, even white men trying to make God a white man. Okay, that is man made. It is not the reality. It's not truth. So we want to understand that this is the water that we swim in, right? The water that we swim in, meaning a fish doesn't know that it swims in water, it is just their natural habitat. And the same thing is true for us as humans. We were born into this world and we are swimming in the water of capitalism, racism, and patriarchy, meaning the white rich man, old man, is at the top of the hierarchy, bestowing power to everyone else. I don't believe in that, right? I reject that, but I know that that's still the structure that we live in. So we can't fully negate it. We have to understand that most people are programmed that way. Black women, white women, black man, white man, Asian woman, Asian man, Indian woman, Indian man, right? No matter what color or gender you are, most people subconsciously believe in those power hierarchies. Good. This is what I speak about, the circumstances. And in those circumstances, you have created a life for yourself by subconsciously assuming who you are in this game of life. Good? Good. Rewind because there's a lot of information in this. So the first step is to practice more often than not to stay awake and to recognize that you, and that is the ultimate truth, are a divine being, that you are a child of God, that you are a child of the divine mother, that you are a child of nature, and that you have the power to transform your thinking. Be ye renewed by the power of your mind. Or what is it? Be ye renewed by the transformation of your mind. You have to deconstruct. You have to decolonize. You have to decondition your mind and put yourself in the center of power to create the life that you desire, right? You are one with the divine, right? That one presence and that one power is right where I am. I am the divine. I am the mother. I am the divine mother. Okay? There is nothing outside of me that has more power than me, right? That's how you need to think, right? So instead of telling, that's a saying by Michael Beckwith, instead of telling God your own consciousness, your own mind, you're about your big problems, about your circumstances, and whining and saying, "Oh, I'm a victim," right? The world is so bad. Telling that to yourself, tell your problems about your big God. And that means that you are the embodiment of your big God. God is inside of you. You are the embodiment of your big God, and you're telling all your circumstances that bow down to my presence, right? I can change my living situation, my social status, my body, my position in society, my financial status. I can change those things by learning. And learning is building capacity, becoming more aware first, and then learning about how the system works and applying it to yourself. Okay? So realize there is a truth that is greater than the facts. Not every fact is a truth. Consider the condition in your life right now. What is your life condition? What are your circumstances? You, your body, your confidence, your mindset, the way you live, what you eat, where you go, what you do, who you are in relationship with, who are your allies, your friends, the relationship with your family, right? Consider those facts, your financial statement on your bank account, right? All of those things, consider them right now and realize that there is a difference between, again, the facts of your life and the truth of your being. The truth of your being is you can change that. Facts can change by you applying new knowledge and wisdom from a higher consciousness, right? But truth is constant, and the truth is you are divine. And therefore, we want to give thanks. Give thanks that there is a truth that is greater than the facts. We won't deny the facts. As I said, I'm not going to deny that those power hierarchies are at play all the time, that men might think that they're more powerful than women, right? That white people might think that they're more powerful than brown people, right? Most people believe that because it serves them and their agenda of pursuing power and privilege. But I don't ascribe to their agenda, right? I have my own agenda and you have your own agenda. So you deny those facts because you can't change that, right? We deny the power of those facts to determine our future. These facts don't determine your choice. They shouldn't, right? These facts are just the facts. And the opportunity to transform these facts is right where you are. You have the power to change. Understand? Right? Remember the example of Jesus with the loaves of fishes, right? He said, okay, I have these raw materials and I'm going to multiply them. Right? There are people hungry. I have these raw materials and I am going to multiply them. I have more substance. I have the capability to create more from what I have right now to solve a problem, which are the facts. But if you solve certain facts, they become new facts. right? Facts can change. And our job is to learn to distinguish the facts from the truth. And every time you increase your level of consciousness, you develop your capacity. Capacity building is knowledge from a higher vantage point, from a vantage point of privilege and power and consciousness and understanding power dynamics, human nature, right? Human motivation, understanding yourself, understanding your subconscious programming, and understanding the world that we live in. Only if you truly understand that and how those dynamics work, you can also position yourself rightly and use your power accordingly inside the system. This recognition opens up a feeling of empowerment, right? Because you're not chained by those assumptions of facts. You're now taking back your power, and this is opening up to a feeling of empowerment and the ability to make conscious choices instead of reactive ones, right? So we release the I call it the chains, right? We release the cords and the concern about your condition and your situation. You cut it. You cut away the cords. You do the cord cutting, right? You cut away the cords. You cut away your agreement with those facts. Only by you agreeing to that contract, you give away your power and you stay where you are. You stay where you are. But real empowerment means to understand your true nature, which is consciousness and understanding that you have the power to create new circumstances by creating more consciousness, more awareness. Okay, so that's very, very important. And also, I want to give a little bit more of a tangible, practical example here. You do not deny the facts of your life. This is not wishful thinking. This is not closing your eyes and meditating and putting on some subliminals or putting on some sound bowl healing music, which is all nice and fine, right? That can all assist you. But if you deny the fact of capitalism, right, racism, hierarchy thinking, and that other people are playing the game as well, if you deny the fact of that you need to make money in this world, yeah, if you deny the fact that you need money in order to create the life that you desire, you are not going ahead, right? If you deny the fact that you people are superficial, if you deny the fact that people are judgmental, you deny the fact. If you deny the fact that men will see women as their servants most of the time, you deny the fact. If you deny the fact that um, all of the realities of the world, again, they can be changed, but you will first have to understand what is. You have to understand reality. You have to understand the brutal, the harsh, and the violent nature of reality, where everyone, if they are on a certain level, and most people are fighting for their lives in this world. If you deny that fact, you will get eaten alive. You have to learn how to properly assess your position in this hierarchy. You have to properly understand where you are, what is your reality, and then you have to strategize on multiple levels: mentally, emotionally, um, physically, and then socially and financially. You have to strategize in order to get to your manifestation, right? It's not about hoping and praying and wishful thinking. It is about understanding the complexity of the system that we live in, and also the complexity of the system of who you are, to strategize to get ahead. And if you want to do that, if you want to get to a point where you know how to navigate yourself through this world from where you are with what you have, work with me. Sign up for the free membership inside the school community. Test it out. You find amazing resources to set the intention for the life you want to design. Work with me one on one or get on the waiting list of the next upcoming Life Mastery program, which is a 6-month group program with high level women, professional women, women in corporate, women in business, high level women who are strategizing for their next level of success inside a group setting, which is very important because only in a group can you learn how to socially become better in working the field, in understanding how to speak, how to present yourself, how you come across. Very, very important. That can't be done in isolation. So if that speaks to you, go over to the description box and I see you inside the membership, inside the waiting list, inside the free call to assess if we're a good fit to work together one on one. And definitely see you in the next video. Until then, take charge.